He drank heavily. I mean, when you arrested him,
he was an alcoholic.
Drunk,
he was completely gassed. I could see him go from being drunk to almost being hyped up. It was in that first like 10 hours of talking to him that I saw all of his emotions. He cried, he ranted and raved, he got up and moved around in kind of a rage. But I decided from the very beginning to treat him almost fragile, because when I first saw him, he had been in a hell of a fight with 2 big police officers, and they both told me that he was no pussy. When I first saw Jeffrey Dahmer, he was on the ground hogtied behind his back, and he was bleeding from the mouth, and he was whining almost like a little baby. When I first got him into the interrogation room, I forgot to take off my heater. As he was going into it, he finally looked at the gun and said, you know, why don't you just kill me right now? The typical homicide interrogation lasts about 3.5 hours before they start to crap out. This is about 3 hours in. And he said to me, but Pat, when I tell you what I'm going to tell you, first of all, you probably will hate me. And then he said, well, when I tell you this, Pat, you'll be famous. Many times people come up to me and say, oh, you looked into the eyes of evil itself. And I can't say that I really did, because when I looked at Jeffrey Dahmer, what surprised me the most about him during the 6 weeks I talked to him is how very much like you and me he really was. I mean, I had breakfast with him and lunch with him, and I would bring the paper in and show him what the people were saying about him. And it sounds weird that we became friends, but we were kind of friendly. We were friends. I actually started to like the guy and feel more sorry for him. He was a pathetic soul.
The film shows that in his first public appearance in court, you loan him your son's shirt and pants to wear so he wouldn't look disheveled in public.
On the day before his trial, he had mentioned to me, you know, Pat, I feel all greasy and funky, and I got to go in front of people tomorrow on trial. And I gave him to Jeffrey Dahmer to wear, and that was the one where he was pictured in Time magazine with the blue and white. When it was over with, back in the judge's chambers, and he folded the clothes real neatly and tried to hand them back to me through the bars. When he tried to give me the clothes, I said, no, you know, no thanks, Jeff, because I thought, who's going to touch these clothes? And
what about hearing about him being killed?
It was a Sunday morning, and the captain, I sat down at my desk in the homicide, and he walked up, he goes, hey, Kennedy, they killed your boy. Everybody was cheering. When I went home that evening, I didn't really know how I felt. I kind of wondered, how should I feel about this? I mean...
Were you sad?
I guess I was kind of sad, not because I liked him so much, but because he's a human being like everybody else. And 6 months prior to this, my partner Murphy was up at the correctional institution on another homicide, getting some information from another prisoner, and stopped in to see Jeff. And he told me that he had gone from a very straight-acting gay man to a stereotypical. He said when he shook his hand, he was like, oh, hi, Dennis. And he told Dennis that I'm going to ask to get out of solitary confinement because I can't take it anymore. He goes, it's driving me crazy, believe it or not. He even told Dennis, I know once I get in the general population, I'll be killed. And 6 months later, he was killed.
So much fun.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.